Shabbat Shalom, Rabbi Yarkin.
Shabbat Shalom, Cantor Aronoff. What a lovely way to start our Shabbat celebrations by having some melodic tunings from you. And we want to welcome everyone, if you're viewing us via YouTube, Facebook, or straight from our website. Welcome, Shabbat Shalom. Those candles can already be lit, but we'll be saying the blessing together when it's candle blessing time in about 20 minutes. So quickly go get your candles lit if you haven't already. And we're going to pray Kabbalat Shabbat momentarily. Back over to Cantor Aronoff.
Sorry for playing over you as you were beginning to talk. I was imagining that we were together tomorrow or another time. We're going to begin this evening with Yedid Nefesh. It's on page 10 of our Lev Shalem Siddur. If you don't have the Lev Shalem Siddur, you can look on the website, and where it says resources, or really under virtual Adat, there is a place that says resources. You can click there. You can get this Lev Shalem Siddur through the RA Rabbinical Assembly site really quickly. That can happen. And Ilan, you have a blue, I know you don't need to put your camera on, but Ilan Diener, our bar mitzvah, is with us. He has our former Siddur, and you can find Kabbalat Shabbat in there as well. We are on page 10 for Yedid Nefesh. Yedid Nefesh, Avarach Haman, Mishor Chavdach, Eretz Zonach, Yarutz Avdach, Kimo Ayad, Yishtachaveh, El Muladarach, Tkiyer Avlo, Yedidutach, Minofetzu, Bechotam, Adonai, Ziv HaOlam, Nafshi Cholat Avatach, Ana Elna Rifana La, Beharot La Noam Ziva, Az Titchazek V'titrapeh, V'hayta Lach Shivchat Olam. Yana nai 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 nai, yana nai 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 nai, yana nai 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 nai, yana nai nai nai, yana nai 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 nai, yana nai 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 nai, yana nai nai nai, yana nai nai, yana nai nai nai, yana nai 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 nai, yana nai 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 nai, yana nai 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 nai, yana nai nai nai, yana nai 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 nai, yana nai 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 nai, yana nai 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 nai. Good Shabbos. We turn to the next page, page 11 and 12, for the first psalm of our Kabbalat Shabbat service for Lechu Neranena. Lechu Neranena Ladonai, Nariya Litzor Yishenu, Nikad Bafana Bitoda, Bizmirot Nariya Lo, Nikad Bafana Bitoda, Bizmirot Nariya Lo, Ki El Gadol Adonai, Umelech Gadol Al Kol Elohim, Asher Biyado Mechkerei Aretz, B'toachot Harim. אשר בידו מחקרי הארץ, ותועפות הרים לו. אשר לא יביאו עשהו, ויבש את ידיו יצרו, בוא נשתחווה וניחו. 40 שנה אקוט בדור, ואומרם טועה לבבהם, והם לא ידעו דרכי, אשר נשבעתי באפי, אם יבואון אל מנוחתי. Next page, page 13. שירו לאדוני שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני כל הארץ. שירו לאדוני ברוך הוא שמו, מסרוני ים לים ישועתו, סבו בבאים גבליים. עוד באדר למנה. Page 14 at the arrow. ישמחו השמיים, השמיים, ישמחו השמיים, השמיים, ישמחו השמיים, ותגל הארץ. ישמחו השמיים, השמיים, ישמחו השמיים, השמיים, ישמחו השמיים, ותגל הארץ. יירם בים, יירם בים, יירם בים ומלואו. 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 ישמחו השמיים, השמיים, ישמחו השמיים, השמיים, ישמחו השמיים, ותגל הארץ. יעלו שדי וכל אשר בו, אז ירננו כל עצי יער, לפני אדוני קיווה לשפוט הארץ, ישפוט תבל בצדק, וימים באמונתו. So I thought tonight we would turn for our next psalm all the way over to page 21 for this Mizmor LeDavid, to a tune that I learned off an album, actually. I think it was the Yoram Gaon album called the Sephardic Shabbat, and it's a tune that I like. Mizmor LeDavid, Havul Adonai b'nei Elim, Havul Adonai kavod ba'oz, Havul Adonai kevod shemo, Yishtachavu Adonai behadrat kodesh, Kol Adonai al hamayim el hakavod yirim, Adonai hamayim, hamayim rabim, Kol Adonai ba'koach, Kol Adonai behadar, Kol Adonai shover arazim,
Granta Aronoff, I love that tune. That is a standard classic British tune that I heard every week when I went to shul in London for Kabbalat Shabbat. So memories just came flooding back. I love it. And also, I love that you chose it for this week, because as you know, it's Parshat Noach, and there's a lovely line. Adonai was enthroned above the flood waters. Enthroned Adonai is eternally sovereign. So it imagines God rising above the flood. So I feel like you are very in tune with where we are in the Torah cycle. Yesha Koach.
Thank you very much. That was an accident, but it was meant to be. I think that, am I right? There's a lot of Sephardic tunes that appear in British synagogues
We definitely had a lot of influences from all over the globe. People came to England from near and far. So
by the way, that is a Sephardic tune that I realized as I was singing it. I didn't learn it off the Yoram Gaon album. I learned it somewhere else. I don't think I learned it off of that one. There's another one of his that I need to try to remember also. But now Lecha Dodi, definitely not a Sephardic tune, more of a Hasidi, maybe even Temani tune, which is also a much beloved tune all over. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekavela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekavela. We're on page 23, by the way, everybody, page 23. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad, ishmi'anu el ha'meyuchad. Adonai echad u'shemo echad, l'shemo tiferet v'litila. Lecha Dodi, Lecha Dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekavela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekavela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelecha, ki hi mekor haberacha, merosh mikedem nesucha, suf ma'aseh b'machshava tchila. Lecha Dodi Dodi, lecha Dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekavela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekavela. Mikdash melech ir melucha, umitzei mitoch ha'pecha, rab lach shevet mi'emek habacha, ve'hu yachmol alayich chemla. Lecha lecha Dodi Dodi, lecha Dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekavela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekavela. Ki na'ari me'afar kumi, livshi bigdei tifartei chami, al yad ben yishai beit halachti, karva el nafshi ge'ala. Lecha lecha Dodi Dodi, lecha Dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekavela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekavela. Hitoreri, toreri, ki ba'oreh kumiori, uri, uri, shir daberi, kivod Adonai alayich nigla. Lecha, lecha Dodi, Dodi, lecha Dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekavela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekavela. Lo, lo, lo tevoshi velo, velo, velo tikalmi ma, ma tishtochachi, Atemi Bach, 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 Yechesu Aniye, Amive, Nibneta, Iratila, Lechadodi, Likrat Kala, B'nei Shabbat, Nekabela, Lechadodi, Likrat Kala, B'nei Shabbat, Nekabela, V'hayu Likshiza, Shosayich Beracha Kupot, Mevalayich Yasis Alayich, Elohayich Kitzos Chatan, Chatan al Kala, Lechadodi, Likrat Kala, B'nei Shabbat, Nekabela, Lechadodi, Likrat Kala, B'nei Shabbat, Nekabela, oh Yaminu Smol, Tifrot Zivi et Adonai, Ta'ariti al Yarish, Be'parzi v'nismecha, Benagila, Lechadodi, Likrat Kala, B'nei Shabbat, Nekabela, Lechadodi, Likrat Kala, B'nei Shabbat, Nekabela. Boi v'shalom, Ateret Bala, Gam b'simecha u'betzola, toch emunei am sekula, boi chala, lechadodi, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat, nekabela, lechadodi, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat, nekabela.
Beautiful job. And I love that you gave us 2 tunes for the price of 1 there. I was shouting out nice harmonies, and then you did another one, an equally favorite, Lachadodi. So beautiful. I love that. Thank you so, so much. The Sabbath Queen is satisfied. And let's welcome her even more with a shir for Shabbat. It is Mizmor Shir Liyom HaShabbat. I'm on page 27.
Mizmor Shir Liyom HaShabbat, Tov lehodot l'Adonai, ulezamer l'shimcha elyon, Tov lehodot Adonai, ulezamer l'shimcha elyon, lehagi baboker chasdecha ve'emunatcha b'leilot, lehagi baboker chasdecha ve'emunatcha b'leilot. Aliyasor v'yalina Oh, dinu v'ndeseva, deshenim v'rananim yihiyu, leagid ki ashar Adonai, tsuri v'lo avlata bo.
some beautiful Kabbalat Shabbat singing there and rejoicing. And speaking of primal waters, which really gets us kind of into this week's Torah portion as well. So our candles are lit already, as it is pretty dark outside. But what we're going to do at this time is say a blessing over the candles. And I don't know if everyone knows this, so I'm going to just make sure it's loud and clear over the internet. But it is a bar mitzvah weekend. It is Ilan Dina's bar mitzvah. He has worked so hard and so wonderfully and is going to do a wonderful job this weekend. And we wanted to give his family the opportunity to say the blessing over candles and therefore illuminate this whole process. So at this time, I'm going to ask Ilan if you want to unmute yourself and show us where you are in your garden. And if your family, if Tali and if Nicole is around, if you want to offer the candle blessing for us at this time, that would be delightful. And anyone else, you're welcome to stand if you want, to do the motions, to say Amen afterwards, and wish everyone a big Shabbat Shalom afterwards.
All right.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu להדליק נר של שבת.
Amen.
Amen.
All right.
Amen. Amen. Thank you so much for that. A big Shabbat Shalom. And again, we're going to keep the camera on you because I'd like to invite Izzy and Talia at this point to give Ilan a blessing and maybe even present him with a little gift just to send him on his way as he embarks upon his bar mitzvah weekend.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Ilan, we present to you with this talit and this tefillin with great joy. Your grandma Abu Sol got them for you in Israel, and we hope you every time you wear it, you think of that and you think of the love that we all want to bring to you.
We hope that this talit always reminds you of a big hug. We will always hold you. And this is the start of your journey as a young man, as a Jewish man. And one day you will wrap this around your family. Oh, love you. And I can't finish, so.
And I can't finish.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat Shalom.
No, todavía no, todavía no.
Shabbat Shalom and kol hakavod, and thank you so much. There's a lot of love in this family. It's a huge deal. So thank you if that was short and sweet, but very heartfelt words there. We'll get to see Ilan wear his talit tomorrow morning, but for now you get to sit down, enjoy a little bit more praying. I'm going to just share a few words of the Torah portion at this time, and then we are going to go back to you as Ilan will lead us in Kiddush. But for now you can turn off your camera, and I make sure that I am on the screen, larger than life. So let me go into speaker view here, just so everyone else can relax and enjoy. All right, that is, should be in the correct view. So this is short and sweet, but it is a problem that we experience with this week's Torah portion that has made many sages mad, because we notice, and everyone knows the premise here, that God asks Noah to build a giant big ark, and it takes Noah years upon years to build, and the dimensions are huge. 300 cubits in length, 50 of height, 30 in width. He's also got to kind of double dip the entire ark in black pitch in tar to ensure that it is a watertight vessel worthy of surviving the storms. And then after that, God is also going to ask Noah to do even more work. After all the wood construction, putting a little shining light in the top of the ark, a little skylight just to see the view, to see if it stopped raining. God also asks Noah to gather all the living things, all the creepy, crawly little bugs, 2 of every kind, and 7 of all the kosher animals, as well as you, your sons, your wife Noah, your sons' wives with you, and food, like vegetarian food for all of these creatures and the humans to eat. So this is a huge, huge, big project that Noah has to do alone. And that's great, it's like, well done, Noah. What's the problem here? The problem here that Ramban, Rashi's grandson, points out is that after Noah does years of manual labor, God then intervenes anyway and magics the ark so that it's even bigger. Because, as anyone who has a basic grasp of math or physics can deduce, you can't fit all of that stuff inside an ark, even a 300 cubits ark. So what happens is that God comes in at the end of the day and performs a miracle, and somehow magically ensures that all the creatures are safe and have space to roam in this ark, and the storage of all the grain and the fruit also is built in. So the question then becomes, well, if God was able to do that miracle, why on earth did he ask Noah to make the ark that big? Surely, in fact, let's step back. God could have just poofed the ark into existence. After all, in the previous chapter, we see God make absolutely everything ever and create a whole world. Surely an itty-bitty boat, from God's perspective, would be an easy task indeed. It's chutzpahdik, it's cheeky to have Noah spend years and sweat building an ark that God is going to just magic anyway. You see that there's a miracle, but it's the stingiest possible miracle that God does at the very end. And Ramban uses this to teach us a lesson. God doesn't like to do anything for ourselves that we could have done for ourselves. Meaning that God wanted Noah to work hard and to do everything that he possibly could to save himself and the world. Because that's how God operates. God doesn't want to just magic things. I mean, we'd love it if God could just take our problems away. But there is so much value in using our hands and our hearts and our brains to do everything we can. And God can be there to give us that little push, but that really, that's cheating, and that it has to come from us. And even more so, and we know this, we feel this in our bones, when we take responsibility and make something ourselves. And the more work and labor and love that we pour into it, the more we take care of it and the more responsibility we feel over it. So that's also a very important thing, because Noah is asked to step up and then care for everything and distribute the food and look after his family and animals. And had he not have poured hours of effort into construction and making this new home for them, perhaps he wouldn't have cared as much. It wouldn't have felt personal. And that's actually a striking moral, a lesson that we can take away. Because we know that when we get involved, when we contribute and make an effort and even lead the project, we care about that project succeeding, and we become invested in the outcome, in saving the people around us. So that is a message to be gleaned from Parshat Noah. And thank you, Ramban, for pointing out just how stingy God's miracle is. But really, it's so we can raise ourselves up and be worthy of that little extra help from God. So we're going to be hearing more about Parshat Noah tomorrow. And at this time, though, we're going to do our Baruch Hu prayer. We are going to have our Ma'ariv part of the service. It is on 39A, 39A, and Cantor Aronoff will lead us. So rise if you can, face east if you can, and let's see where Cantor Aronoff is. She's ready and willing. Over to you, my love.
Lie, 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 lie,
Leolam, leolam va'ed.
Asher the beginning, Baruch Adonai, Amevona, leolam, leolam va'ed. Lai, 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 lai,
If you are standing for the Baruch Hu, you can sit at this time for the rest of our Barachot for Ma'ariv.
El Chai v'Kayam, Tamid Yimloch Aleinu Leolam Va'ed, Baruch Ata Adonai,
Shmo.
Ba'ari V'Ravi,
Amen.
Ahavat Olam Beit Yisrael Cha'ahavta.
We're now on page 40, our blessing before the Shema.
Ki hem chayenu v'yorech yameinu, uvahem nege yomam v'layla, v'avatcha tasir mimenu li'olamim, Baruch ata Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael.
Amen.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol miodecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha ve'shinantam levanecha ve'dibarta bam בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך והיין שמוע תשמע ונתתי מתורתך Adonai Elohechem Emet. On page 43a, we're going to sing, well, I'm going to sing, I hope you join with me, Emet ve'emunah. Emet ve'emunah, Emet ve'emunah, Emet ve'emunah kosod. Aleinu emet ve'emunah kosod.
We're on page 44 for Micha Mocha.
ומלכותו ברצון קיבלו עליהם משה ומרים ובני ישראל לכהנו שירה בשמחה רבה ויאמרו כולם מי כמוך באלים אדוני מי כמוך נדר בקודש נורא תהילות עושה פלא נורא תהילות עושה פלא מלכותך ראו בניך בוקע ים לפני משה זה אלי אנו ביאמרו אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד ונאמר כי פדר את יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו ברוך אתה אדוני Ba'al Yisrael.
Amen. We continue with Hashkivenu on page 45. Shelter us in the shadow of your wings, for you, God, watch over us and deliver us, and you, God, our sovereign, merciful and compassionate, ensure our going and coming for life and peace, now and forever. May you spread over us your canopy of peace. Baruch atah Adonai, who spreads the canopy of peace, Isukat Shalom, over us and all of Israel, and over Yerushalayim.
Amen. That's a good enough Chatima for me. Shall we go on to Vishamru on page 46?
Absolutely. I love the Hashkivenu. It's so important. It's like an amulet that we say, please protect us, please help us. We're in this together. Let's shelter one another. So that's what the reason we're not live. We're trying to shelter one another just to make sure that we stay healthy. So I love Hashkivenu there, making sure we all know what it means. But for now, Vishamru on page 46.
Vishamru Israel et Shabbat.
Shabbos.
La'asod et Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Vishamru bnei Israel et Shabbat. La'asod et Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Beini u'bein bnei Israel oti leolam, oti leolam, oti leolam. Veshamru bnei Israel et Shabbat.
Shabbos.
La'asot et Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim v'et haaretz teshamru bnei Israel et Shabbat. Shabbos la'asot et Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Uvayom hashvi'i Shavat vayinafash, Shavat vayinafash, Bayom hashvi'i, Veshamru bnei Israel et Shabbat. La'asot et Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah Be'alma divrach chirutei v'yamlich malchutei B'chayechon u'v'yomechon Uv'chayei d'chol be'Yisrael Bagala ubisman kariv ve'imeru amen.
Amen. Yehesh mirabam avarach leolam leomaya yitbarach.
Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitbar v'yitroma v'yitnaseh ve'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudesha
Rihu.
le'ela min koverchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata damiran bi'alema ve'imiru
Amen. It is silent Amidah time. We're on page 47 and it goes till page 52. So just find some space, get quiet. Feel free to dove in this prayer in whatever language makes the most sense for you, or just take some time to connect to your higher power. Think about the week, reflect upon how you'd like this weekend to unfold. And rise if you can for this. And we'll come back together with an Oseh Shalom, a prayer for peace, just in a few moments.
Oseh Shalom Bibrahma Hu Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael Ve'al Kol Yisrael Ve'imru Amen. Oseh Shalom Bibrahma Hu Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael And now I would like to, before the Kaddish and the Kiddush, I would like to put in Magen Avot, which we find on page 53. This was a Friday night prayer that my father and I really enjoyed together, and I just feel like doing it tonight. Magen Avot bidvaro lechaye metim b'mamaro ha'el hakadosh she'ein kamohu hameniach leyamo b'yom Shabbat kodsho ki להניח להם, כי בם רצה להניח להם, לפניו נעמוד ביראה ופחד, ונודה לשמו בכל יום תמיד, בעד יתקרא שמי רבה, בעלמא דברך חירותי וימליך מלכותי בחייכון ובימיכון ובחיי בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו.
Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabba Mevorach, Li'olam Lo Me'almaya, Yitbarach.
Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpar v'yitruman v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalel Shmei Dekudesha.
Brihu.
Elam min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechamata damiran b'yama v'yimeru.
Amen.
Abel tzloton u'balton d'chol Yisrael kodam avohan d'vishmaya v'yimeru.
Amen.
Hey Shlomo Rabba min Shemaya v'chaim aleinu v'kol Yisrael v'yimeru.
Amen.
Aseh shalom b'dama b'yaseh shalom aleinu v'kol Yisrael v'kol yoshvei tevel v'yimeru.
Amen. We now pass you over to our Bar Mitzvah boy, Ilan, who is going to lead us on Kiddush. If you want to follow along, it is on page 55. So unmute yourself. And if anyone wants to go and get a glass of grape juice or wine at this time and sing along and make Kiddush together, bavakasha.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu b'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hilanu zikaron le'maaseh bereshit ki hu yom tehillah le'mikra'ei kodesh zecher litziat mitzrayim kivanu baharta ve'otanu kidasha mikol ha'amim ve'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat. Amen.
Amen. Toda rabba. Shabbat shalom one more time, and thank you for leading us in that. If you stood for that, you can remain standing as we will go on to the Aleinu on page 56.
Ilan Yasher Koach. עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי ארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגובי מרומים, הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו, ככתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום בהשבותה אל לבבך, כי אדוני הוא אלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת, אין עוד. אוקיי, נקבל לך אדוני אלוהים. ככתוב בתורתך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
Yesha Koach, thank you so much again, both to Ilan Dina and also to Kanta Aronoff for a gorgeous Kabbalat Shabbat and Ma'ariv. We have one or two more final prayers, and we pause before we get joyful for a moment to have a moment of somberness, whereby we remember those who have passed away, whose yortzeit it is today, or if you're in your period of Shiva or your 30 days, and you need to say this prayer. So I posted on Facebook a list of all of those in the Adat Ari El community that we've been made aware of, whose yortzeit is in the upcoming week. There's many of them. So if you want to have a look in the Facebook page, that is now there. And if you also want to add into the comments, if there's a name you didn't see, feel free to do so, or hold the name or names of the individuals in your hearts. And at the same time, we also want to extend our deep felt condolences to the family and friends of Samuel Goldfarb. His funeral was today, and we hope that his family and friends are able to take comfort in the memories of this incredible individual. So along with him and all others, we will say the Kaddish Yatom. Please rise if you're saying this prayer if you can. I'm on page 58. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shmei Rabbah. V'yalma divrach Yerutei v'yamlich malchutei v'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael v'agala u'v'zman kariv v'yimru.
Amen.
Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach leolam ulolmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei v'kudsha.
Richu.
Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, de'amiran v'yalma v'yimru.
Amen.
Yehei shlama Rabba min shamaya, v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru.
Amen.
Oseh shalom b'imromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru.
Amen.
Amen to that indeed. Well, as I said, we are nearly at the end of our services, and we will get to take a little break to say a big mazel tov one more time to the entire Dina family. We can't wait to get to do more celebrating with you Shabbat morning. You'll get to tune in to the service, and Ilan will help lead and share Torah, and it's going to be a blast. So we're so proud of how hard you worked. You were awesome tonight, and the words of your parents made me well up a little bit. So. But really just huge mazel tov. And also we've got just a couple of things that we want to talk about that are coming up in the calendar. I'm going to leave Kanta Aronoff to tell us about something wonderful that's very soon. I just want to pitch Mitzvah Day, which is on November 1st. It is Sunday. The gates of the parking lot of Adat Ari El will be open wide for 2 hours from 10 a.m. to noon. And we are circulating via email and on our website, and we'll continue to remind you all of the different things we are asking to be donated if you can. As we've mentioned, the pandemic has hit people harder than ever. So we are really in dire need of food, toiletries, shoes for children that LA Family Housing is going to be collecting, items of toys that are new to donate to children in need. We've got a lot of different things that we're collecting, and we've partnered with 6 or 7 organizations that we normally work on who expect this from us. And there's the opportunity as well to do a monetary donation by feeding yourself with Andreas's pizza, because he is cooking as much pizza as we can eat. And if you pre-order, you will be able to pick up a pizza meal for you and anyone else, and a significant amount of what you're going to be paying for that pizza will go directly to tzedakah as well. So if you also want to grab yourself some lunch, it's a good chance to do so. And you can vote, because Adat Ari El is also a polling station, a place that you can vote for a few days, I think from the 1st until the 4th or something, maybe even the 3rd. You'll be able to vote. So it's a double mitzvah that you get to do to participate in democracy, and also to help those in the larger community who are really in need. And it's not the end, because these needs go on and on. Mitzvah Day is not so much a one-time thing, but it's going to be an ongoing monthly process whereby we are working with these organizations and saying, what do you need this week or this month? So we'll let you know what you can bring in December. So again, it's not as big as we would have gone in other times, but it's going to be more consistent and more meaningful. And tying it back into the Devar, that's what Parshat Noah really has to teach us, that we continue to work hard and to give with our hands, and it's much more meaningful. So this also means that you can do anything in your own time as well on Sunday, because normally it's a day where we would do projects. We just encourage you, if you want and if you can, to do something that helps someone else, to do a mitzvah in that spirit on Sunday. Anyway, we're going to go back to Cantor Aronoff, who will tell us about an incredible musical opportunity.
That incredible musical opportunity is happening on Sunday, as in the day after tomorrow. We are so lucky to be able to have giving us, Adat Ari El, and really anybody who wants to join virtually, a free concert by the incredible David Broza, an Israeli superstar who has lived, aside from living in England and the United States, spent a great deal of his formative years in Spain. And he is therefore, I mean, not therefore, but that has greatly influenced him. He's an incredible guitarist. Just, you will not be disappointed. Even if you've never heard of him, you will love this concert, I promise. So all you have to do is go to our website. I mean, there are emails that have come from me also, but all you need to do is go to our website, adatariel.org. There is now a circle right on the homepage. It says David Broza concert. Click here for everything you need, and you click there and it takes you right to wherever you need to be. So couldn't be simpler. And so I hope you come and attend on Sunday. You won't be sorry. And that's all I have to say right now, Rabbi Yarkin, except for, why don't we finish with Yigdal on page 62, another tune, an Italian Sephardic tune that I really like, that I did learn off of the Yoram Gaon album. This one I know I did. Yigdal Elohim Chai ve'yishtabach nimtzav yenei tel metziuto echad v'yen yachid ve'yichudo ne'lam ve'gam ein sof le'avduto ein lo dmut haguf v'eino guf lo na'arach elav kedushato Harmon l'chol davar asher nivra Rishon v'en reshit v'reshito Hino adon olam v'chol notzar Yoreh gdulato u'malechuto Shefa nevuato nitan גדולתו ותפארתו, לא קם בישראל כמשה עוד נביא ומביט את תמונתו, תורת אמת נתן לימואל, על יד נביאו נאמן ביתו, לא יכל לפועל ולא ימיר דתו, לעולם מן זולתו, צופה ויודע סתרנו, מביט לסוף דבר בקדמתו, גומר איש חסד כמפעלו, נותן רשע רע כרשעתו, תשלח לקץ ימים משיחנו, לפדות לך כקץ ישועתו, מתים יחייאל ברוך חסדו, ברוך עדי עד שם תהילתו, מתים יחייאל ברוך חסדו, ברוך עדי עד שם תהילתו. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom. Toda rabba, Erev Tov. Thank you so much once again for leading us in the lovely Kabbalat Shabbat. Mwah! We will see you all in virtual space soon enough.